Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I believe is extremely important for every working professional, which is how to have powerful conversations at workplace. As what famous American entrepreneur says, Dale Carnegie says that 80% of success in any job is dependent upon your capability to deal with people and have effective conversations with them. He couldn't have been more right in saying that because that's exactly what happens. It does not depend upon your technical capabilities and your knowledge and experience. Obviously, that's very important. But how you communicate with people really takes you to the success point in your career. How well are you able to connect with people? How well are you able to build relationships with people? How well are you able to impact their lives? That's predominantly going to be your deciding factor for your success in your career. And that is exactly why we are going to have a conversation on this topic today. I'm going to share with you some tips and strategies on how you can develop powerful conversations and powerful connect at your workplace. So stay right till the end and take notes because each of these elements, each of these strategies is definitely going to help you in your upcoming career. Hi, friends. I'm Swati Arora. I'm a woman career growth coach, and I help working professionals scale up the ladder, elevate in their journey in their career by helping them develop some essential skills. So, you know the drill. Before we go ahead, click on the subscribe button if you already haven't done that, and so that you can get access to all my videos right up front. And so, before we dive into the tips and strategies of having powerful communications, let's understand why is it so important to have powerful conversations at workplace. Well, powerful conversations can help you build stronger relationships with your team members, increase your influence and credibility within people, and also build your capability in your organization as well, within yourself and within your team members. Moreover, with respect to your seniors or managers, if we talk about having powerful communication, what does that mean? It means that you're able to articulate your thoughts effectively and put forth in front of them without getting fearful or scared. It means that you're able to convince them on your idea, or you're able to sell your idea to them. For example, if you're having a presentation or a meeting with them and you have a thought, it means that you're able to convince them and sell your idea to them effectively. It means that you're able to negotiate with them in a way that they understand what you require and are able to get hold of that requirement. Powerful conversations means all of it, which means not just about having a one-to-one conversation or a dialogue with your colleagues or your team members or your managers. It's about how well you're able to communicate what you're feeling within yourself to the other person in a very, very clear and crisp and concise manner. And that is exactly why having powerful conversations is a very important skill that we all need to develop. So, the first element of having powerful conversations is active listening. While a lot of people feel that communication is all about talking, but listening is even more important than talking. Like they say, God has given us two ears and one mouth, which means that we do twice as much as hearing as much as what we talk. But it happens the other way around, isn't it? We like to talk a lot when we are conversing with people rather than listening to them. Now, imagine a situation that you're talking to someone and the other person is just not listening or not being alert in what you're saying. What will happen? It will lead to misunderstanding, confusion, conflicts, and even missed opportunities, right? And that's exactly what happens at workplace. A lot of missed opportunities, a lot of misunderstandings are created because people haven't really heard or listened to what you wanted to say or what the other person wants to say. And that is the reason why I say that active listening is the key for any powerful communication. If you really want to be involved in a conversation, you must be present in the moment, listen to the person, pay attention to what he or she is talking, and also give a response back by way of gestures, nods, acknowledgements, or some phrases like, I understand what you're saying, I see what you say, or, I agree with you, etc., etc. So, active listening is not just about listening like a dumb person, listening there and just with a straight head. No, it's not about that. That's not active listening. Active listening is demonstrating being present at the moment, listening to that person with full attention, B, it's about giving or demonstrating certain affirmations or certain nods to state that you're present in the moment and you're listening to the person, and also by responding with empathy and respect for the other person. When you're able to demonstrate active listening holistically in such a space, what will happen is you will be able to build better connections with people. People love someone who is listening to them carefully, right? So you will build better relationships with people, you will build better bonds with people, you will have lesser chances of miscommunication and misunderstanding in the work environment, which definitely will lead to a much better, healthier workplace environment. So active listening is the first essential element for having powerful communications at workplace. Another way to have powerful conversations at workplace is by asking open-ended questions. Now, have you ever been stuck in a conversation and not sure of what to ask next or what to say next? Generally, this happens, right? When you're asking a close-ended question, for example, a question which ends with either a yes or no, which gives you an answer with either yes or no, or a one-word answer. For example, if you say, "Did you have your breakfast today?" The other person will say yes or no, right? And the conversation will cut off. For example, if you say, "Which city are you from?" or "Which college did your engineering from?" the answer would be in a one word answer or a one statement answer, and that would end your conversation. But if you really want to keep the conversation flowing, what would you do? Convert it into an open ended question, which means what? You want to know more about that person. You want that person to free up and elaborate on his or her experience. What would you say? Can you share more about your experience on that? Or what do you think are your views about this particular topic? Or what do you think about this particular situation? That way, that person is forced to answer in a longish kind of a conversation, longish kind of a sentence, so that your conversation can then become free flowing. And how do you build more open ended questions? Is by picking up cues from the same sentence and then asking that person to elaborate on that. And that's a very, very important skill that everyone need to develop. If you really want to be a powerful conversationalist at your workplace, you must develop an art of asking open ended questions, because otherwise your conversation will be very cut short into one bite sized information, or you will just get limited information from that person. If you really want to have a free flowing conversation, a powerful conversation, you must convert yourself into a person who's asking open ended questions. That ways you'll be able to have free flowing conversations. Secondly, you'll be able to get more information about the other person or his or her point of view. Third is you're able to build more connection with the person, because you'll know the other person at a deeper level. You'll come to know about his thoughts, his values, his viewpoints, his beliefs, etc. That's a very good way to connect with people, bond with people, if you're able to have more powerful conversations using open ended questions. Another very powerful way of building powerful conversations is empathy, demonstrating empathy in your conversation. Now, this is something which, in a layman language, empathy would be the ability to step into someone else's shoes and understanding their perspective and responding accordingly. But I would say that empathy cannot be faked, or empathy should not be faked or enacted. It should come intrinsically from within. Like when you're having a conversation, a human to human conversation, someone's coughing on the other side, you should stop and you should ask that person, are you okay? Would you want take a glass of water? I can continue later. Or if someone in a conversation says that, my grandfather is not feeling well, he's hospitalized right now, don't go on with your conversation. Stop there and just say, "Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. I hope he's doing well. Do you need some help from me?" Or if someone says that, I'm having a splitting headache, it's a migraine probably, don't go on and on with your conversation. Just pause there and say, "Do you want a medicine or something? Shall I get you a cup of coffee, or can I be of some help?" That is how you demonstrate empathy, by showing humanness. Empathy is nothing but your capability of being human and responding as a human to the other person. But what happens is people try to enact empathy, and the general statements that they use is, "I understand your concern," or "I understand what you're going through." You really don't understand, right? Just be present in the moment. Just be able to just connect with that person as if you would connect with your friend or your your relative or your siblings or your mother or father. And that's the best way to go about it. So empathy, I would say, friends, please do not enact or fake empathy at your workplace. Be a genuine human, and that's how you will demonstrate empathy to the other person as well. And why empathy is important in powerful communication is because empathy is the only element which can help you get closer to the person, right? It means that you're exhibiting some kind of humanness in your behavior, and you're not a robotic. You're not just here for working and going back home, and you're not just a number in the organization, but you're much more than that. You're developing or you're demonstrating your human values and your culture when you're actually showcasing empathy in your conversations. So, definitely, empathy is a must have in any conversation to develop those personal connect with your team members or anyone in the organization. And the last point that I want to share today on how you can have powerful communication at workplace is receiving and giving feedback. The art of giving and receiving feedback. Now, feedback, like I had earlier as well said in one of my videos, is an important element for personal and professional development for any individual, and it's a must have in every organization, right? Every manager, every team member must give and receive feedback as well if you really want to improve yourself and the organization's culture. Now, when you're, but it's difficult, right? It's challenging when you're giving and receiving feedback, because if you're not cautious about certain elements, you might just go overboard. So when you're giving feedback, what you should pay attention on when you're giving feedback, you need to make sure that the other person is not taking it in a negative way, which means you have to pay attention to their their sensitiveness. You have to make sure that your feedback is not blaming them or kind of being in a sarcastic way, but you're just emphasizing on the behavior and the action and not attacking the person per se, right? And that's when the person will take it very, very positively. So when you're giving feedback, make sure it's specific, it's on the behavior, on the particular action, and very specific to that action only, and not really pertaining to the person per se. Okay. And when you're receiving feedback from someone, make sure that you have an open mind when you're listening to feedback. Make sure that you're listening to feedback from a learning perspective, and not taking it in a defensive way. Anyone who's giving you feedback is trying to help you become a better version of yourself. If you keep that perception in mind, you will never take feedback negatively. So remember these two elements when you're receiving feedback and giving feedback. Make sure that you keep in mind the other person's perspective when you're giving feedback, and when you're receiving feedback, make sure that you keep the learning component in mind when you're receiving feedback. And feedback is very essential for any workplace, like I said, to develop people and build personal connect with people, and also to grow the organization's culture per se. So in conclusion, friends, having powerful conversations at workplace is not just about speaking well, but it's about your ability to be able to listen actively to people when they're talking to you, to be able to be empathetic with them, to have meaningful conversations by asking powerful questions, open-ended questions, and also to be able to give and receive feedback effectively. If you are able to adapt all these elements in your conversations, you will definitely have much more powerful conversations with everyone in your organization, be it your team members, juniors, peers, or supervisors. You will definitely have an edge over the others, and you'll be able to be successful in your career. So that's it about this video, friends. I hope you like this video, and I hope it was beneficial for you. Please go ahead and mention your comments in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. And if you want me to come up with any further videos for working professionals, do mention in the chat box. I will definitely try and pick up all those points as well. Also, I'm coming up with webinar on career elevation blueprint, which is I'm helping working professionals grow up the ladder in the next 3 months, get a good hike for themselves, get a good promotion for themselves. So if you're interested in growing your career and elevate your career, go ahead and click on the link below, which is mentioned in the description, on how to have a jump start or kickstart in your career. I will see you in the webinar, and I'll come back with some more interesting videos next time. Till then, you do take care of yourself. Bye bye.